The thermos was empty by the time I reached the campsite. It had been a long day on the trail, and now night was falling fast around me. Since the stream water wasn't safe to drink due to potential pathogens, I needed to find a way to purify it before use. I set up my tent near the stream's bend, where the current slows enough to make crayfish trap setup effective. A simple wire mesh frame covered with burlap can work as a basic screen to catch crayfish. However, before setting any traps, it's crucial to check local regulations and ensure you have the necessary permits if required. As I started building my trap, something felt off, a sudden whisper of wind that shouldn't have been there and a snap behind me that made my heart skip. No light, no phone signal, just cold and water and the crunch of gravel under my boots. As night fell, the sun disappeared behind the trees, casting long shadows over the stream and enveloping everything in darkness. If you're planning to trap crayfish or forage at night, always check local regulations and ensure you have proper permits if necessary. Stay safe by purifying any water from streams before drinking it and being cautious of hypothermia risk as temperatures drop rapidly after dark. I realized I had to get this right. Crayfish were an easy catch and a reliable food source, but I needed dry tinder first. A quick look around revealed nothing, no fallen branches or dry leaves. Only wet grass and moss clinging to rocks. The fire was going to be tough tonight, so it was crucial to find another way to get dry material. Additionally, remember that trapping crayfish requires following local regulations and seasons. Ensure you have the right bait and traps before setting them up. I stripped down to just my shirt and shorts before entering the chilly stream. Cold water quickly enveloped my legs as I waded in. For trapping crayfish, I needed bait that would attract them effectively. Small pieces of fish or meat work well. After setting up my traps with proper bait, I stepped back, feeling a bit silly but determined to succeed. Remember, check local regulations and seasons before setting any traps and always handle wildlife responsibly. Darkness fell and the night grew silent. No crickets chirped, no owls called out. Only the sound of water moving past my feet remained. The current was stronger than anticipated. My crayfish traps drifted downstream, pulled by unseen forces. I had to act quickly to retrieve them before they got lost or damaged. As I moved into deeper water to chase after the traps, the cold seeped through my clothes, a stark reminder of the need for appropriate gear and caution when working in water. Hypothermia can set in swiftly, so it's crucial to stay aware of your body's limits and seek shelter if you start feeling chilled. Always check local regulations before setting up any kind of trap or fishing equipment, as there may be specific rules about what types of traps are allowed and where they can be placed. I recovered the first trap just as my fingers started to numb from the cold. It was empty, which left me feeling discouraged. My second trap, closer to the bank, also floated out of reach due to strong currents. By now the chill had settled deep into my bones and I could barely feel my toes, signs that hypothermia might set in if I didn't find shelter or warm up soon. Panic set in, but I forced myself to think through every mistake. Wet clothes meant losing body heat fast. Without traps, finding food would be challenging. No fire meant cold nights ahead and a lack of warmth. I needed dry wood for fuel and to create some form of shelter. I hauled the empty traps back to camp, being careful not to drag them through the stream as that could damage the trap mechanisms. Each step was a battle against cold and fatigue, with the chill seeping into my bones every time I had to wade through the water. Back at my tent, exhaustion hit hard. The waterlogged ground wouldn't hold up a proper fire pit, but I couldn't give up. Building a safe fire in wet conditions is crucial for warmth and cooking, so I carefully created a dry base with rocks and dry debris to elevate the fire from the damp earth. Remember, always check local laws before setting any traps or fishing gear, and practice responsible wildlife management. Using my knife, I carefully cut burlap from empty traps to build a makeshift shelter. Layering the fabric created a crude roof that offered some protection against the biting cold. Night air grew colder with every passing hour, and my teeth chattered uncontrollably as I huddled in the dark, waiting for dawn. It's crucial to seek proper shelter and stay dry to avoid hypothermia when temperatures drop. Always prioritize safety and consider legal restrictions on fishing gear and methods in your area. No fire tonight, and no food either. Just darkness and cold water that seemed to suck the warmth from my bones. The stream felt alive with unseen eyes watching me from below, tracking my movements and sensing my fear. Every snap of twigs echoed like a warning in the silent night. My breath misted in the air, visible now even though I hadn't seen it before. To survive, I needed to find food without a fire. A trap for crayfish seemed feasible. Remember, check local laws on trapping and always ensure you use humane methods that comply with regulations. I needed to move but couldn't muster the strength. Night was unforgiving, draining every ounce of warmth from me. The thought of finding dry wood and a safe shelter for the night haunted me. Surviving another cold exposure could be fatal if I didn't find proper protection. Hypothermia sets in quickly when body heat is lost faster than it's produced, making it crucial to seek out insulating materials and build a fire before temperatures drop too low. Morning finally came with a slow blush in the east. Frost covered the ground, making every step treacherous. My fingers were stiff and numb, my muscles ached with the cold. Hypothermia was a real risk without shelter or warmth, so I knew it was crucial to find something to eat first. Crayfish can be an excellent food source in streams, but trapping them requires care. Set up simple traps using natural materials like bamboo or reeds and bait them with fish scraps or other available attractants. Always check local regulations before setting any traps. Crayfishing may require a permit in some areas. Once the trap is set, patience is key as it can take time for the crayfish to find the bait. I dragged myself to the stream's edge, hoping for crayfish. The traps lay empty once more. No food, just cold water that reminded me of the urgency to find a safe source and purify it before drinking. I knew hunger gnawed at me, but survival trumped all else. Remember, always check local laws and seasons if you plan on trapping crayfish or any other wild animal for food. It's not a free-for-all in nature. Back at camp, the cold had seeped into everything: tent, clothes, body. Each moment felt like a countdown to another night of shivering and dread. Every breath grew heavier as the chill crept closer to hypothermia, reminding us just how quickly exposure can sap our strength and resolve. To combat this relentless foe, it's crucial to find dry shelter, build a fire, and stay active until you can warm up thoroughly. Remember, untreated cold can lead to severe health issues fast. Never underestimate its power. I needed help, but there was no signal, no light, just me, cold water, and an empty thermos. The stream's bend where I set up camp seemed cursed now, every rock, every log a chilling reminder of the dangers I faced. Hypothermia is a real threat in cold water. Untreated exposure can quickly lead to life-threatening conditions. Always prioritize finding shelter and staying warm when near bodies of water. The day seemed endless without any success. With every passing hour, the clock ticked towards nightfall, making it feel like time was running out. The chill in the air intensified, and I worried that I might miss my chance to catch crayfish before darkness fell. Staying prepared for changing conditions is key to survival. As evening approached again, panic surged through me. No fire tonight, no warmth, no food, just dark water and distant sounds that echoed in the silence. A snapping branch, rustling leaves, nothing comforting. To survive another night, I needed to act fast. The stream's bend seemed to whisper my failure, but it also offered hope, a chance to trap crayfish. Trapping crayfish can be an effective way to secure food if done responsibly and legally. Check your local regulations first. Some areas require a license or have restrictions on the type of traps you can use and where they may be placed. Ensure you're using humane, non-invasive methods that won't harm the environment. With the right setup, crayfish provide a nutritious meal and could make all the difference tonight. But then I remembered something crucial. Survival isn't about comfort, it's about making informed and responsible choices. Every decision matters. Wearing wet clothes can lead to hypothermia quickly, so always use dry layers when possible. Setting night traps without bait is ineffective. Crayfish are attracted by food. Next time, bring fish or meat for the traps, but remember that trapping is regulated in many areas, so check local laws and seasons before setting any traps. I needed warmth but couldn't leave this campsite until night fell again, so I focused on the essentials, finding dry wood to start a fire before dusk. Fire was critical for safety and comfort. As for food, while crayfish can be an excellent source of protein, trapping them requires specific techniques and is regulated by local laws in many areas. Always check your local regulations and seasons before setting any traps. Small, controlled steps led to success. With the fire secured, I felt more prepared for what lay ahead. Night fell once more, but this time the glow of a warm fire brought comfort and a sense of security. Despite the persistent gnawing of hunger, the knowledge that I had taken steps to improve my situation offered a glimmer of hope. Survival in the wild is challenging, but with careful planning and adherence to local laws regarding fishing and trapping, it's possible to make it through. Remember, always ensure you have the necessary permits and follow season regulations when setting traps for crayfish or any other wildlife. The next morning brought clear skies and a valuable lesson. Always be prepared because nature can present unexpected challenges at any moment. Every mistake in the wild is an opportunity to learn and adapt.